Okay, here we are. This is it. This is the original lounge on North Street in Bedminster. Here are Jake and Al, the founders of lounges. We're privileged indeed, gentlemen.
Indeed.
Indeed you are.
Indeed. Welcome.
Welcome to Lounge, the original.
Yeah, the original lounge. So it's got bigger over the years, hasn't it?
It has. It was that. Then we added that. Then we added that. So yeah, it's almost tripled.
Shall we go and have a look?
Yeah.
Come on. After you, sir. This is the original lampshades. Original floor, original bar. This was the original space down here where I think on the opening night we had a football shootout with an empty packet of fags. And then we were all trying to do cartwheels. Not very successfully.
Do you feel? How do you feel about the original lounge? Is it still kind of, Does it still?
No, it's in the. It's that.
Yeah.
It's that.
Yeah. Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, shall we have a chat then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Absolutely.
Let's go through. Hello, I'm Justin, and I'm with Jake and Al, the founders of Lounge. Hello, Jake and Al.
Hi there.
Is there anything that you'd like to say to someone who's just joined Lounge?
Well done.
Welcome.
And where are we exactly?
This is the original lounge on North Street in Bedminster, Bristol. Exactly, this is precisely number table 26. A well-worn 26. So it's seen a lot of action, this one. Being the oldest lounge in the company. Set up in 2002.
Set up in 2002. Yeah.
And it was sat on one of the oldest bits of furniture in the company, which was one of the original benches from Tinto, which opened 10 months after Lounge opened.
Fantastic.
I don't know why it's here, but it used to be in Tinto.
But didn't we store this bench in our corridor?
Yeah.
We used to share a flat back in the day, and we had a big corridor, which was a joined corridor with the flats downstairs.
Yeah, we did. Downstairs.
And we did that complete no-no of a thing of blocking up the fire escape with furniture.
We were stockpiling.
We were stockpiling for our lounge, and this was one of the original bits of kit. So it's good to see it still here on table 26 to this very day.
Going strong.
Fantastic. And has this place changed since it opened?
Yes and no.
Yeah, but no, but
Yeah, I mean, the room we're sat in now, we extended into in 2009. So Lounge in its original form was number 227, and then we extended into 229 in 2005, and then a further extension into here. So this used to be travel agents when we first opened. The original room, effectively the first lounge space, is very similar to how it was when we first opened. In fact, the walls have not been decorated. If anything, they've been preserved and they've been treated like a bit of a heritage project. But the sort of the general feel and the vibe and the sense of homely, it being a homely environment, relaxing, is pretty much as it was almost 15 years ago.
And who's this up here?
That is
mirror.
so that's the now infamous Dave's granddad. So Dave was the third string to our bow, co-founder who got off the bus in 2012.
Dave, if you want to.
Yeah, selling himself in the south of France. And that his granddad is featured in a lot of photographs that we have around the door on the walls and a lot of lounges. He was quite a well-travelled chap on lots of cruises, and he's just become a bit of an icon, really, and a bit of a I guess our mascot.
First of all, when we opened the doors here, was it Tuesday the 28th of August 2000? So that week we wanted to just, do a bit of casual trade turnover. And we opened the doors and it was boom. We were very busy all day, every day for that solid week. And There was no letter, there was no rest for the wicked. Dave didn't have time to go and do the banking, so he hid the money in his laundry basket at home. And then eventually, once we got the banking up
Are you
together,
recommending that as an approach for cash up generally?
I think our cash policy has changed a little bit since
Just
then.
leave it in the till drawer and open it.
But yeah, we were very busy from day one, and people seemed to like it. So it was like, let's put a foot down and see what else is out there. And there was a restaurant going on Gloucester Road in Bristol, and we took the opportunity to do that. And hey presto, number 2 was born.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And at the as we speak, how many lounges and cosy clubs are there? Can you remember?
Oh, I knew you was going to ask that. I think we're up to 96, aren't we, including the cosy clubs? But not including the cosy clubs, it's probably 80. A good round 80.
No, because that was 17 we opened last night.
It was 17, so 81.
Or even 79.
He's good with the numbers.
So quite something. That's a lot of lounges and a lot of cosy clubs. And what is the most important thing that makes a lounge or a cosy club work?
The people, the stuff, hospitality. I think when we set up, it's fair to say we wanted an all-day offer. We knew it was going to be 9 o'clock in the morning till 10, 11 o'clock at night. And that's a lot of work doing a lot of different things. From the breakfast, which goes all day long, everyone knows it's quite tricky. We don't just open for lunch and then open for dinner and have a break in between. To make that work, the most important thing for us was to get the right vibe, and that comes through the people. So that's what we set about doing, was creating a culture where it was all about the staff first, customers second, and just nailing it with a good bit of product. Having fun along the way always helps.
Anything to add to that, Alex?
Yeah, I think it's recognising that we've got a great role to play within the community. And community is clearly a word that we use a lot within the business. It's a very genuine use of the word. It's not, lots of people use the word community and they don't really have any substance or anything to back that up with. I think where we sit generally, which is on a busy high street, suburban areas, quite often, or a small town, we've got a really significant role to play. And actually, the way that we interact with the local community and our customers who will live generally within walking distance is actually really important. And whilst we've obviously, as you've alluded to, created a very, very big business, and it's got to a fantastic scale that we would never believe would have been possible. I think actually, you do stand back and think, well, actually, we've made a lot of high streets a lot better around the UK, and that's something to be extremely proud of, and it's something we're eager to sort of continue exploring and hoping to open as many lounges on as many high streets and bring as much joy to as many people as possible.
Most certainly, it was the
More
original
important than
idea.
we thought it was going to be. Yeah.
The original idea didn't really involve any food whatsoever, but the landlord of this unit had shelled out a kitchen with an extract unit, and we thought we better make good use of it. So we conjured up a menu. And it was it was more than a happy accident. It was a good thing that we did, because it really defined the brand, selling 50-50, half wet, half dry. And yeah, the food and the menu, whilst it's always evolving, I don't think it'd be fair to say it's not really changed its fundamentals. We offer good, wholesome, comfort food, good value, affordable, recognisable, not too wanky. Can I say that? And it's held on to those values, but just evolved.
Yeah, and it used to be blackboard menus, which are great, but you can rely upon somebody who can actually write using chalk, which is not easy.
Some cracking spelling mistakes.
Yeah, and I remember when we first opened, actually, Dave was complaining about the fact that we hadn't sold any prawn cocktail, and he realised we hadn't actually put it on the blackboard menu, so actually we sold it. So there was a very good reason. But yeah, I think in terms of clearly the business has evolved over a period of time, which you'd expect, given that it's been going 15 years. But the reality of it is that there's more in common with the lounge now compared to how it was 15 years ago than there effectively there's that's out of kilter with it.
Yeah.
So it's it's just been a very gradual evolution of what we do. But I think the fundamental basics and the core and the reason why we did it in the first place are all still very alive in the business.
Yeah. So how did you guys sort of go? I mean, before you did Lounge, what were you doing? How did it come to this? What did you do to start with?
We were experts in the industry. I think it's fair to say we had more than an interest in going out and drinking and experiencing bars when we were of a youthful age of 18, and going out and drinking and seeing how bars were constructed and how they operated was not only good fun, but it was more than a hobby. We were really interested in it.
And then you went to university, of course.
Yeah, we worked in restaurants, and we went to university and kind of A levels. Oh wow, yeah, forget those. And then we went to university, which didn't last too long. So we were there for the grand total of 5 weeks. We went to Nen University in Northampton.
Got to be careful now, 'cause we've got a site in Northampton.
We have got to
Can't slag Northampton off anymore.
It was a very good university, just too good for us, perhaps.
And you went together.
We did separate courses.
Slight.
Slightly separate courses. I think I do American Studies with the history and appreciation of art. Graphic design was always a fallback second option, but thank God I didn't have to take it.
Yeah, my combined studies degree included industrial archaeology, which clearly vocationally really useful qualification to have.
And I think we knew before we even went there that, having worked in restaurants, that uni life wasn't for us. It was a good laugh, and we met lots of people, and it was great for going out and exploring. But we had already found and fallen in love with restaurants, and it was let's get out, let's check out, grab the grant check.
Let's
Well,
get
they
on
used
with
to
it.
pay you £500 for going to university back in the days, which quickly evaporated. We got on with it, yeah. We wanted to get back into restaurants and get stuck in, which is exactly what we did.
Yeah, so
What did we do? We moved down to
we're
Bristol.
originally from Leicester, Premiership champions currently.
Never quit. Foxes never quit.
And having worked in some restaurants in Leicester, I think Jake and I were of the view that there had to be something else in life than Leicester. Nothing wrong with Leicester. We've got a site there as well.
Got a site there as well. It's a very good term.
But
one of my favourites, actually.
I think Bristol was a city that a lot of people had mentioned in passing. Was sort of had a bit of a scene going on, and it was a nice alternative to London. Everyone seemed to go to London, and we didn't really fancy the idea of going and joining the rat race down there. So we moved down here, and I got jobs fairly quickly initially as waiters in a small restaurant group within Bristol, which is where we met Dave, who was our boss at the time. We worked our way up into management positions within that business. Spent the first 6 months of our time in Bristol living on Dave's dining room floor, where we struck up a good friendship with Dave. And then, in effect, pre-setting lounges up, we were working in sort of, I guess, sort of some of the best restaurants in Bristol, but they were part of a small group. So we sort of learned a bit about how groups work, but actually predominantly our experience was from a very independent restaurant sort of orientation. And Dave David completely burnt out doing what he was doing, and had gone off travelling for 24 months. And had returned back from a lengthy stint in Australia and New Zealand, and talked a lot about the all-day cafe bar culture that existed there, and how there was nothing like it in the UK. And I think he was keen to open something, and I think both Jake and I were slightly reluctant to begin with, because we both had really good jobs, and I just bought a house, and it felt like a bit of a don't really fancy giving that up. And Dave was sort of, his view was, look, you invest in it, I'll run it. And the story goes about this site is that I used to live on Exeter Road, which is the road across the road, and walked to the end of the road one morning to go and get my Saturday paper, and saw that the original lounge unit was available for let, and it had A3 consent granted in the window, and we sort of, the journey began. So yeah, we've worked very, very hard all our lives, and restaurant work is really hard work, but it's extremely rewarding, and you get to meet a really diverse bunch of people, and it's a real sense of being in a family. And academia is not for everybody, and it certainly wasn't for Jake and I. And I think we're I guess we're very good examples of the fact that if you work hard and you know, really believe in what you do and how you can go about things differently, it can clearly pay dividends.